Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Shin Gear. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Shin Gear does not miss. I got on my Shin Gear shirt or whatever. But I got a couple different things from them, and I just love their bibs.
The Grove
I look
boots.
flashy.
The Grove boots are amazing.
Yeah.
The wax down jacket is too heavy to wear in Texas,
Yeah,
especially this winter. The winterless winter is continuing. This is the hardest first 6 weeks of waterfowl season I've experienced in my life. We've had some really, really good days, and we've had some really, really shitty days. And I think it's pretty much across the board because I've talked to a lot of guys, and it's been a tough deal. It's just no winter. It's December the 8th, and we've got a north wind on tomorrow night, and the whopping temperature is going to be 60 degrees for a high.
Hell yeah.
When
brother.
you used to get a north wind in December, it used to be cold. Cloudy, cold, and crappy, and we hadn't had very many of them days.
No, we did have 3 or 4 days of good hunting
Yep.
where it felt like I knew what I was doing, and
Right back, getting tough again.
right back to getting kicked in the nuts.
We're gonna we've cut back on our podcast until the end of January. We'll come back with the today's. We'll kick back up in January, but for right now, we are not doing today's. We'll be doing our regular ones and our Did You Know. And
Whenever I was getting out of the field at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock, it was easy to do a podcast that day. But when I got to hunt till 11,
it's tough.
and then we got lunch, and then I got to do birds, and then it's like 1 o'clock before we get it. We got to wait for everybody to clear out.
You don't have to give a reason. We're just going to cut back till.
Well, it's 1 or 1:30 before we get in
Right.
here, and then we got to scout it. Ooh, that's the last one. Scout at 4, and then I got to edit it once I get home. It's just tough. Days are long enough. I mean, it's tough. Anyway, you need to take that or no?
No, I'm going to fix and text him right back.
How about those Red Raiders? Number 4, best team money can buy.
You know what though? That's not true, because I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of people have said that nationwide.
Did you hear what that Rodriguez kid said yesterday?
No, go ahead.
If you're going to buy a team, why would you not buy the best one?
That's a good answer. And my answer to that was, is every team out there got NILs?
So
every one of them's doing it. Yeah,
it seems like it's open season.
Maybe some of the schools boosters ought to kick in more.
Right.
Tech is competing with the big boys, and they may get beat in the first round or the
Probably
second round.
will.
Who knows?
Probably will. They get Oregon.
But they have gotten themselves.
Unless James Madison beats Oregon.
They've gotten themselves in the conversation, and so good for them. And I'm happy for them, and they're who I'm choosing. Them and A&M is who I'm going for. The Oklahoma people have pissed me off. I'm so sick and tired.
So you're rooting for Bama?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I've heard all these Oklahoma people, they're so happy Texas didn't get in.
Okay.
And
we kind of assumed Texas wasn't getting in.
I knew that. I'm not shocked by that.
Yeah.
But their answer is, well, our record's better than you. Y'all hadn't scored a fucking touchdown in 3 years against us. We beat your ass this year, and we beat A&M's, and we're sitting at home. And I understand that, but don't act like head-to-head on the Notre Dame deal makes a difference, because we beat 2 teams that are in. Now, we shouldn't have got beat by Florida, and that's what cost us. And I'm good with that. I'm not lobbying for any of the Texas stuff. They got what they got, and I'm not shocked by it.
If they wouldn't have got beat by Florida, they'd have a legitimate bitch.
And then the answer on the Texas side is, well, we played Ohio State. We didn't run from somebody and play somebody. That's right, you didn't.
That.
And there's going to be a lot less of that going on now, because teams aren't going to do that.
I just think at the end of the day, it was a Florida loss.
It was the Florida loss. But if they would have lost to Florida and not played Ohio State and lost that, they still would have been in. They'd have been 10-2 and got in.
I don't know.
No, Texas would have gotten in if they were 10-2. They didn't get in.
Who was their other loss? Ohio State,
Georgia,
and Florida.
I mean, two losses to teams that are getting buys.
Yeah.
They lost to 2 teams that are getting buys, and they beat 2 teams that are in.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Florida screwed you.
it doesn't matter. The Florida loss cost them, and I'm not making excuses. They got their ass beat by Florida. It's just when I listen to OU guys talk about that, if we beat your ass, don't act like you're God's gift to football all of a sudden. So
Right.
I hope Alabama beats the Sooners' ass. Now, I like Notre Dame. A lot of people hate Notre Dame, and I've noticed there's a lot more Notre Dame haters than likers probably.
Do you disagree with them dropping out of the bowl?
I think Notre Dame's one of the best 12 teams in the country, and I thought they should have got in over Miami, even though Miami beat them, and they're like, well, they lost head-to-head. And I'm like, well, that's right back to the Texas argument that I was having. But I understand where they're coming from, too. They should be in a conference. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we have DEI football teams, and that's what we have. James Madison and Tulane are the DEI of college football. There's no way in hell.
But the way the rule was written, it's 5 conference championships.
Because we got to appease and include everybody. Bullshit. When you're taking you're going to play for a national championship, you take the best freaking teams out there. And there's no way those 2 teams are 2 of the top 12. Take Texas out. I'm not talking Texas. BYU deserved to be in over both of those.
Yeah.
And so did Notre Dame. I mean, James Madison, I don't know nothing about him, and I'm sure this right here is going to vault them into winning the whole thing. They're going to be the Cinderella story. But I'm betting you James Madison, if they played in the Big 12, which is not a very hard conference, would we agree on that?
Yep.
I'll bet you they couldn't get in the top 4.
I would agree.
Okay, but they're getting in because they played, and they're because of they're a DEI school.
Weber State they played.
Ooh, well, that's a wild fucking team right there.
Louisville.
Well, they beat Louisville?
No.
They got beat by Louisville.
They got beat by Louisville.
Okay.
But they were in Louisville, so that's tough. That's a tough place to play.
So, let's hear their schedule.
Liberty. They beat Liberty.
Okay.
Georgia Southern.
Okay.
Georgia State.
Well, that's a big one too. Okay.
Louisiana.
Okay.
Old Dominion.
Okay.
They beat them 63-27.
Haskell, Texas might beat them 63-27. Okay.
They beat Texas State 52-20.
Okay.
Marshall.
Okay.
We all
the Thunder and Herd.
We all love Marshall.
Okay.
App State.
Okay.
Washington State. That was a close one. Mike Leach coached at Washington State. That's a good school. Beat them 24-20.
Who?
Washington State.
Yeah, I think they went 1-11 this year.
Mike, it was good enough for Mike Leach.
Who did they beat that's going to a bowl game?
Coastal Carolina.
Okay. I don't think they've played a team that's going to a bowl game.
Troy.
I don't know Troy's going to a bowl game either.
And then they get Oregon the 20th.
Okay, and Oregon's going to wax their ass.
Most likely.
Okay, Tulane.
I'm planning on Tech playing Oregon.
Okay, let's go look at Tulane now.
Okay.
Tulane's one loss, I think it's to Ole Miss, who they're playing again in the playoffs, who beat them by 35. Neither one of those schools are top 12 teams.
Tulane beat Northwestern.
Okay.
Good school. Good school at Northwestern. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is a good school.
It's a very good school.
Would you not want your kid to go there?
Yeah, education. Well, that's a bunch of liberals there, so I don't know. But go ahead.
South Alabama snuck by them 33-31. They beat Duke. Duke's a good school.
Duke won the ACC championship. How would they beat Duke by?
34-27.
Okay. Duke won the ACC. And that's my other problem. Miami gets in because they can't qualify for the ACC championship game, but they get in. But then Duke, who won the ACC championship, stays out. Duke should have been in on Miami if you're going to take the true conference champions.
Who's the ACC champion?
Duke was.
But
Duke beat Virginia in overtime to win the ACC championship.
But why is the ACC getting left out of conference champions?
Miami. They're because they brung Miami in instead.
That's not right. Because they said you have to have 5 conference champions.
And that's why Tulane and why James Madison are in.
Right.
This all happened. If Miami would have won the ACC championship, then we'd have had one more large team get in. But since they didn't, they got accepted even though they can't win a deal with a team with 5 losses wins.
Right.
And that's a bullshit deal. So anyways, tell me the rest of Tulane's.
Ole Miss.
Okay, what was the score there?
45-10.
Okay, and guess who they play in the first round of the playoffs?
Ole Miss.
Yep. DEI. It is.
There's no Lane Kiffin, so it might not be this time.
Oh, but
then they beat Tulsa.
Okay, that's what I'm saying though. But that's the NCAA has selected 12 teams to win the national championship game, and you got 2 teams that don't have a chance in hell. Now, the 10th team is either Oklahoma or Alabama, or I don't even know who the 10th seed is. Miami.
Yeah,
those teams on a given Saturday could beat any other of those teams. I don't think we have a clear. Do you think there's a clear-cut person to win this deal?
Yeah.
Who?
Probably Georgia or Ohio State.
Ohio State just got beat by Indiana.
Yeah, but I'd say
Clear
Indiana.
Clear cut. So if Ohio State and Indiana play again, would you be surprised if Ohio State won? No. There's not a team that just really like, oh, that's the team to beat. You imagine a couple years ago, we only had 2 teams that got picked to do this. Then it was 4. Now we're at 12, and it's more of a fucking mess than when it was just 4.
Right.
And like Texas A&M, when their quarterback's healthy, A&M could win any game. Mm-hmm. So if A&M won it all, I wouldn't be surprised. So, but I can tell you right now, it's not going to be James Madison or Tulane. They shouldn't be in there.
The line's 21 in that game.
Okay. There should not be any. Those teams should not be in. The NCAA's got a serious problem. I think we're going to see some changes after this. Last year, they changed the rules where they reseeded people. Right. But they need to do away with this DEI shit. Put the best 12 freaking teams in. What you actually need to do is go to 16 teams and don't give anybody a bye.
I agree with that.
Go to and play 4 weeks of football.
Because now Tech, I mean, if you got a bye, you don't play until January 1.
Yeah. Your 16th team. Do you really think out of the 16 teams, if you went, that 16th team's got a chance to win it all? Probably not. So I don't see a lot of problems between the 16th and 17th. But
if you kept this same formula and added 4 other teams, I think that you would. Because then you would have Miami, or you would have Notre Dame, you would have BYU, you could argue for Texas getting in.
Texas would be in at 16.
So, I mean, you would have 4 better teams, and you'd still have these 2 layups.
No, I wouldn't. Fuck that DIA. Get that DI shit. This is 2025. We went through all that DEI bullshit from Obama's years until...
It's not DEI. They just want every conference to
it's called DEI.
Have a shot.
It's called DEI. Someone that's they're not qualified, but they're getting to play. That's like hiring some bitch based on his color, who he sleeps with. That's bullshit. You don't do that. You hire the best person.
Play in. You got 5 major conferences.
That's not those aren't major conferences. They suck.
Well.
They suck. They should not be. The rules are stupid, but they did it to include everybody because that's the world we lived in for a while. This shit don't work no more. Get the best 16 teams. If one of those teams is the best 16 teams, I don't have a problem with that, but they're not. But get your best 16 teams to play is what you should do. What I'm saying is your 16th and your 17th team right now is probably somebody that's not going to be able to win it all anyways. That's probably what's going to happen.
I don't know about that.
I don't know who the 16th. If you look right now on who the 16th team this year is, Vanderbilt would have to be in there.
AP poll? With the AP poll?
That would probably be as close as what we're getting with the BCS. That's probably a true measure.
We'll look up the AP poll. Okay. 13 is Vandy.
Okay. That can beat anybody on any given day. They've proven that.
So, so theirs is a little bit different. So it's Indiana, Georgia, Ohio State, Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, A&M, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Miami's 10, Bama is 11, BYU is 12, Vandy is 13, Texas is 14, Utah is 15, USC is 16.
Okay, who's 17?
Tulane.
Tulane can't play. That's 16 teams will be perfect. Who's 18?
Michigan, and then James Madison.
Okay, neither one of those teams are going to play. What else we got?
Virginia, Arizona, Navy, North Texas, Georgia Tech, and Missouri.
There you go.
That's your top 25.
16 teams would have been a good bracket of teams that were probably all 16 teams could upset somebody on a Saturday. Could legitimately have a really good game. And some of them would probably be blowouts, but there's 16 teams out there that could compete.
Yeah.
You know, and that would have been more fair. If you're I mean, can you imagine in the NCAA tournament if they did that in basketball?
Right.
You know, and there's still people that are bitching, well, so-and-so got left off. Yeah, but those teams that get left off never have a chance to win. But to include somebody in there when there's only 12 teams and 2 of them have absolutely zero chance is DEI shit.
So now here's my question to you. Mm-hmm. Do you think that Notre Dame is right in not playing in a bowl game?
Yeah, but because there's some other school. There's a couple of Big 12 schools that don't want to play either.
See, I don't. I think that this goes to the entitlement that we're seeing in America. You didn't get your way. You had a tough break. You didn't get your way, and now you're going to take your ball and you're going to go home.
You didn't give me. You're
robbing the seniors of their last game.
You didn't give me a chance to finish. Why?
Okay.
Because last year we seen this with Florida State.
They held out.
The team that shows up to play in them bowl games is not the team that plays in November, in September, and October, because a lot of their better players, let's say Notre Dame's got 6 guys that are going to be taken in the first 3 or 4 rounds of the NFL draft. I have no idea. I'm just speculating. I know that running back is for sure. He's going to be a first-round pick. What incentive does that kid have to play in that bowl game? Zero.
None, but there's a lot of seniors that would.
Okay.
And they would like the opportunity to use that as a story that they tell their grandkids that they played in a bowl game for Notre Dame.
But that's why these schools are opting out, because the transfer portal's opening already. They got kids that are leaving, and you got a lot of kids that don't want to participate because they don't want to get hurt. And then that's happened a bunch in the recent years, last couple of years. So I understand why some guys are not wanting to put their team there. Do I think it's a kiss my ass moment? Yes, I do. Now, Notre Dame's biggest problem is they want to fix this. They could join a conference.
True.
The Big Ten would love to have them. The SEC would love to have them.
Anybody would take
the
them.
Big 12. Yeah, they're a huge deal. And I understand why Notre Dame don't want to do it.
Yep.
Because they don't get a pie. Do you know if they would have got picked for the playoffs, they'd got a check for $4 million up front?
And nobody else would have?
No. But no. Yeah, everybody else
the
gets a
conference
check
would have
too.
split it.
Yes. Like the Big Ten's going to get $12 million because it's got 3 schools in there, but they're going to split it between 16 schools.
Right.
Well, the SEC's the same way. They get to keep all their money.
Yeah, I understand.
And so I don't, but I understand why these teams are not wanting to play in bowl games, these bigger schools, because their kids are getting ready to go to a lot of kids are not going to play anyways because they're entering the transfer portal. And you've got a lot of kids that got money on the line and they don't want to get hurt.
I just think it's a bad look, and I think that you were talking about the DEI. I think this goes to the entitlement of we didn't get our way, so let's just take our ball and go home, and sorry about you. I think this is a hissy fit, and I don't agree with it.
Well,
I think that you should play it. It's an honor to play in a bowl game, and you should play it. Don't throw your little hissy fit that you didn't get your way because you got left out, other teams got left out. It happens. It's life. It's not fair all the time. These are the rules that everybody agreed to abide by, and it didn't go your way this year.
What about
suck it up and go on with life?
What about the schools? Well, we'll use Florida State last year.
Because even if you go to a 16 team, somebody's going to get left out of that.
Yeah, but
that feels like they feel like they have a legitimate argument to be in the top 16.
We
teams.
just looked over the list, and there wasn't a 17th team to get in.
Well,
SC was just struggling to be 16.
There will be 1 or 2 teams out there, no matter how much you expand this bracket, that feels like they got the shaft.
Well,
so
if we would have went to 16 teams this year, it would be the 16th team. USC has no chance of winning at all. Everybody else in there on any Saturday could probably beat you. But hold on now. But you go back to Florida State last year. Florida State doesn't get. It was last year, the year before.
I can't remember. There's always somebody left out.
I think it was last year. And SMU got no. But Florida State got beaten. They didn't get in last year, and I can't remember the whole dynamics. It wasn't as much as this year, but they were upset. But they'd also lost their quarterback to injury, and they had somebody else done. And then they had like 12 seniors that didn't even play, or juniors didn't play in the bowl game. So they went out there and played in a bowl game, a prestigious bowl game, because it was a big one. And guess what? They were playing a JV schedule out there. You know,
JV team.
JV team. Their fans are not getting the same Florida State team that they saw all year long. It was just a screwed up deal. So I understand where some of these schools. I think the bowls are going to go away. I really do. I think
you're going to have it in these players' contracts that if we make a bowl game, you got to play.
That's what I would do anyways. It would make
if you're
me
not
mad.
A senior. But I don't know how you. But I don't know how you tell a kid that either, though. That's getting ready for the NFL. If I was going to be a first-round draft pick, I would not play in a bowl game. If I was guaranteed I'm going to go in the top 10, there's no way I'm risking it.
You just said use all for this entitlement, so make up your mind there, sister. Which one is it?
As a player, I'm looking out for me.
Okay. That's why these schools ain't playing, because they know a lot of their kids ain't going to play. That's what I was saying. Notre Dame ain't going to put the product out there that they would have played if they'd been playing in a playoff game, because probably
But not all of them are going to be top 10 picks.
There's a lot. So it's a top 10 pick.
Top 10.
Okay.
You can opt out if you're top 10.
Let's say you're I don't even. Let's say it's the Rodriguez kid at Tech. Let's say Tech would have got beat by BYU and they wouldn't have made it because they only took one Big 12 team. And let's say Tech would have lost and they would have got out. Probably wouldn't have happened, but it could have happened. So Tech don't go play, and that Rodriguez kid is like, hey, I'm going to be a 3rd or 4th round pick. I'm not playing in the bowl game because I don't want to get hurt.
He'd have played because he got that dog in him.
He does have that dog. It's that Wichita Falls dog, too.
It's that dog.
But if he didn't opt out to play, would you agree on that? 3rd or 4th round pick.
No, I wouldn't agree.
So he should play as a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Yes.
But if he gets there and let's say he tears his ACL and then he's drafted to 6th or 7th round because he's going to miss a year.
You'll make that money back. You're a good player.
Some of them don't.
You will. With modern medicine now,
but that's
short of an Achilles, you're good.
But that's the argument for a lot of these teams. They're not going to have the same team go out there. Or it's not just the kids that are going to the NFL. It's kids that are entering the transfer portal. They're going to try to get a bigger, better deal, make more money somewhere else. They don't want to get hurt in a meaningless game.
So what do we do? Just get rid of bowls and just have the playoffs?
I think we should go to expand the playoffs to 32 teams or 64 teams.
Wow.
6 weeks or 5 weeks. The state of Texas does it for high school football. It's 6 weeks in a row, and make the first round or second round where you can play a neutral site, coin flip, no bowl game, just a game, and then the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth rounds be bowl games, and make them all bowls, and that be your bowl games. And when you're out, you're out. And they also need to move the transfer portal back. They've got to fix that transfer portal. There's no way that a transfer portal could open on January 3rd and could have 2 or 3 bowl games left.
Let's see. There are 36 total bowl games scheduled.
Okay.
So what's that time? 72?
Yep.
So if you expanded it to, you said 36 teams or 36 games?
32 teams or 64 teams.
So that would be
64 teams is 6 weeks. 32 teams is 5 weeks.
Then that's the exact same thing that we have right here. There's 36 total bowl games scheduled.
That's
what it says right here.
64 teams.
I know.
That would be 128 games.
Oh, that's
no. That would be
32.
No, 32 games the first round.
That's basically what we have with the bowl system. There's 36. If you did 64, you're at 32.
Right.
That would work.
But that's what we would do, and then you could
one round bye.
No buys.
No buys.
The first team plays the 64th, plays the first seed. 164. You don't reseed. You have a bracket just like you would anywhere else.
Right.
And you seed them, and you could do
that would work.
But that's what they need. 1 through 16. You're going to have West Coast, Central, whatever, or however you want to do it. You can't do it that way. It would just be the top. You just seed them 1 through 64. The first rounds would be terrible. You get Ohio State playing Appalachian State in the first round or some shit.
Yeah.
But 64 teams would make the playoffs. But by week 3, the third round, you start getting into really good football. But you can appease all them bowl games, the Poinsettia Bowl, and all this other shit and play. Because what they have system now doesn't work. They need to at least go to 16 teams.
Well, they're trying to merge the new way with the old way. Because the playoffs is new, and they're still trying to hold on to that bowl mentality that they had 15 years ago.
Well, when I was young, what really screwed up was number 1 and number 2 didn't ever get to play hardly ever,
right?
Unless it just happened to be a weird deal where like the Big 8, which is the Big 10 or Big 12 now, and the Southwest Conference, but at that time it was the Big 8. Well, the Big 8 winner, which was Nebraska or Oklahoma, usually would go play in the Orange Bowl, and they would play a winner of maybe the ACC. Mm-hmm. But so you didn't get, or the Rose Bowl would be the Big 10 versus the Pac-12. Well, if Oklahoma and Nebraska were 1, and let's say Arkansas was number 2, and they didn't play in a bowl game against each other, and then Ohio State played USC in the Rose Bowl, and they could be ranked 7 and 8 and something. So some years you never had a clear cut. Right. The best 2 teams never got to play. Right. So at least we're trying to get the 2 best teams to get to play each other. Mm-hmm. And Notre Dame needs to join a conference. That's their problem. Notre Dame's going to have to go. If you'd have told me Notre Dame went 10-2 and didn't get in, I would have been shocked before the season because that's usually good enough to get in. But they're going to have to go 11-1 or 10-2 every year to get into the bowl because they're not in a conference. And so they need to either join a conference or just take that as their medicine that, hey, you got 1 game to lose and that's it. Mm-hmm. Or beef up your schedule again.
Right.
And their schedule changes all the time, but you can't play Navy every year and Air Force and Boston College, and you need to play more Ohio States and Texases and Alabamas and stuff like that to get to have some quality wins or losses. Yeah, I mean that's they got beat by 3 points at Miami in the pouring down rain.
Yep.
And then they got beat by 1 point against Texas A&M at home. Those are 2 quality losses.
Yeah.
But then they play Purdue. Arkansas sucks this year. Boise State, North Carolina State. They beat USC, Boston College, Navy. They beat the piss out of Pittsburgh. And what's funny, that's the best win that Miami had is the Pittsburgh. Key win, Pittsburgh. Well, Notre Dame beat the hell out of them too. Syracuse and Stanford. None of them teams are any good hardly. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's it.
So, switching gears, did you see Dave Portnoy's rant last night?
No, I did not.
Okay, so I'm going to set the stage for you.
Okay.
The Raiders are playing the Broncos. I think it's the Broncos, right?
Tonight?
Yesterday.
Oh, yes, I did. I didn't notice that, but yes, go ahead.
Raiders are down 10 with 16 seconds left.
Okay. Oh, this must be a betting deal.
They're down 10 with 16 seconds left.
Okay.
Geno Smith throws it. Is inbounds. They tackle him. The referee throws a flag on the 25-yard line for defensive delay of game.
What is that? Throwing the ball or something?
No, they argue that he pushed the guy was tackled. He went to get up, and the defender stood over him or pushed him back down or whatever.
So he couldn't get back up to get set for another play.
So now there's 4 seconds left. The clock is running because it's inbounds. Now there's a penalty. The clock stops. Pete Carroll, down 10 with 4 seconds left. Kicks a field goal. The line was 8. They lost by 7. The over and under at the time, when all this happened, it was 24-14. The line was, the over and under was 40.
So it lost both ways.
So it lost both ways.
So it's a bad beat both ways. And I'm assuming Dave Portnoy bet the other way.
Bet the other way.
So I bet the guy who won it's not bitching and complaining.
But with 4 seconds left, why are we trotting on the field goal kicker for one last play? You're down 2 scores. You got time for one play left.
What's the difference if you score a touchdown? The ball game's going to lose.
We're going to kick a field goal?
I mean, what's the matter? If you score a touchdown, you're going to lose still anyways. I don't know. I don't know the reason.
It just looks fugazi that the referee with 4 seconds left is going to call the game's over. This has no bearing. This flag has no bearing on the game. The clock's running. It's inbounds. Why are we pulling our flag out with 4 seconds left on a play that has no bearing?
So who's in on it? Pete Carroll, the referee. Who's in on this?
It's Vegas, baby.
Who's in on it though?
Maybe all of them.
Do you think there was more money put on Denver or more money on the Raiders?
I don't know what the money was, but
so someone listening to this right now is happy because they bet Vegas, and then someone's sad because they bet Denver.
Probably split.
And that's what Vegas tries to do.
Just take all that out. Take out the winners and losers.
I understand what you're saying.
Why are we even doing? As a referee, why are we doing this?
You'd think he just want the ball game to end and be done with it. I have no idea. So I'm asking you: do you think the referee was in on it and he knew that Pete Carroll was going to kick a field goal?
Man, I heard from a guy that was a former mobster, former boss, a capo. He's like, listen, more than once I've had referees sitting on my couch.
I'm not disagreeing with you on anything you're saying. I'm asking you. So you think Pete Carroll was in on this too?
I don't know.
Well, you brought it up. You got to have an opinion.
It just doesn't look good.
I mean, the NFL
it doesn't look good, is my opinion.
The NFL's got NFL bets. They're in bed with all these casinos. If you watch the commercials now, it used to all be Viagra stuff. Right. Now it's all betting shit.
Yeah.
So the NFL wants to act like that shit don't happen, and it does. Because they're involved. So, but I'm asking you.
I'm not going to accuse anybody.
Well, there's 2 people that you're Pete Carroll
I'm not accusing
or the referee.
I'm saying that it looks sketchy. So the optics are not good, is what I'm saying.
If you were Pete Carroll, what would you have done?
Throw a Hail Mary into the end zone. You're going to lose either way.
Well, then why would you? I'd just freaking let the clock run. I've been done of it.
You can't. You got to run a play. The clock stopped. It was a penalty. All you can do is kneel it or chunk it to the end zone.
Do you think if the referee wouldn't have blew the flag, that he would have called a timeout and tried to kick a field goal real quick?
He didn't have any left.
Oh,
there were no timeouts left.
There's some pissed off people that bet on that game.
Woo! Yeah, he's out of timeouts. And then the referee gives him a gift of a delay of game. If
Dave Portnoy would have bet on the Raiders, I don't think he'd be bitching though, do you?
I don't know.
I mean, it's really not like he done anything great by betting on a football game.
Well, he bet 6 figures a game.
Well, I'm sure he did, and he probably lost his ass, I'm sure, on that, more than I make in a year, I'm sure. But my point is that he didn't do anything special to have any kind of whatever he's bitching about, there was no bearing on anything he did. It's not like he knew anything. He bet.
If I can find the play.
I mean, there can be a turnover, a fumble. I mean, if you really want to be upset, be the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones is out for the year now.
Yeah, he's going to miss out on a lot of money, unfortunately. Because he's probably... Yeah, I mean, it's all over Twitter right now. Everybody's talking about it.
I'm sure they are.
So...
I don't know what to say to you on this deal. I mean, I'm with you, but it's betting. When you bet on sports, shit happens. It happens all the time. There's all kinds of games that do it.
Yeah, but right there at the end, that just seemed a little weird.
Well, it does. What do you think about the dynasty is over? Do you think that's true?
I mean, probably not. You still got Mahomes. You gotta get a couple of key players in there. So
they're going to have to completely revamp. Their offensive line is terrible.
it is.
I mean, some don't have a chance. He does not have Rashee Rice is the only wide receiver on that team that's a difference maker. Right. Xavier Worthy, they thought they were getting Travis Kelce. Hollywood Brown, they thought they were getting Travis Kelce. They're not neither one Travis Kelce. They're fast guys. And there's a lot of fast guys in the NFL. They don't make any kind of deal. Their play calling has not been near like they used to either. They used to run a lot of motion stuff and do things different, and they don't look like their play calling's the same. But they got a great coach, and I just think they're done. I think they're in. They're going to have.
They're done.
Well, no.
They're in a rebuilding.
They're going to have to rebuild, and I don't think they're a 1-year rebuild. Unless I don't know what their salary cap is. I'm assuming Kelsey's done, and he looks done. He looks terrible, but they're paying a lot of money for him. But they're going to have to go get some linemen for Mahomes. They're going to get him killed. He looks terrible. He's getting the hell beat. He looks gun shy. I mean, he's getting the piss beat out of him.
Beat up for sure. His knees jacked up.
His back's got to be sore for carrying them some bitches all year long.
But I think it happens.
On that team,
You have down years. You have good years.
No. They have done that, but they're not as good defensively as they were.
Right.
And their offensive line is terrible. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're terrible. Who on that team's an all-pro football player other than Mahomes?
Oh, Rashee Rice?
Not even close.
What?
All-pro? No.
Yeah.
No.
He'll get it.
He's an all-pro wide receiver?
Yeah, he's
Hell
good.
No. Look at him last night. He was terrible.
He got trucked last night.
He did, boy. He got smacked. So you're telling me right now that Rashee Rice is a better wide receiver than Justin Jefferson?
No. Yeah.
T. Higgins.
They'll have better stats.
Not
than T. Higgins.
Jamar Chase.
No. Well, how many
Nakua.
How many all-pro honors do they hand out?
CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. I can think of a whole lot of players better than Rashee Rice.
I'm not saying that there's not better players. How many all-pro designations do they hand out?
Let's say 4 on wide receivers.
No, he won't get it.
No. He's not even a top 10 receiver. He's not. Look up his numbers. They're not that great.
Well, he hadn't played. He missed 6 games.
Well, I understand that, and that's his own fault. But it's just you look up his stats. He's not that good a football player. I mean, he's a good football player, but he's not what he was a couple years ago, or a year ago. But their offense is different. He has got here it is right now. Regular season games.
7 for 42, 9 for 93, 4 for 80, 6 for 38, 8 for 141, 8 for 92, and then last night 4 for 34.
He's had one really good game.
He had 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys.
He had a really good game, and he had a good game, and the rest of them were just mediocre games.
Justin Jefferson hadn't been putting up any numbers.
Yeah, he's got nobody to throw the ball to him in this year. But Rashee Rice does have somebody to throw to him.
You just said how bad their line is. How is Mahomes supposed to do anything?
Well, it's okay. He's still better than getting J.J. McCarthy or somebody else throwing to you. I'm just telling you right now, I would have Justin Jefferson over Rashee Rice any day on my team if I was drafting him. I'm just saying that they don't have a stud receiver either. They don't. Their money was all tied up on Taylor Swift's boyfriend, and he's done.
Justin Jefferson, the guy you just cited, 2 for 11.
Yep.
2 for 4.
Yep.
4 for 48.
Yep.
5 for 61. 4 for 37. 6 for 47.
Yep.
7 for 74. 5 for 79. He had a good game against the Browns, 7 for 123. He had a good game against the Steelers, 10 for 126. I'm assuming that's when McCarthy, before he went, no.
But before we
Wentz was playing there.
Before we get into this, I can go ahead and clear this up for you all at one time.
Go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes or whoever the fuck's quarterbacking at Minnesota, there's a big difference.
Hush.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna let him go out.
But still, if you don't have a line, you can't throw the ball.
I'm not disagreeing with you on Mahomes not having time to throw the ball, but I'm just saying when you got Mahomes throwing the ball to you, you have someone that can throw the ball. Minnesota hasn't had anybody that can throw the ball. But I just don't think Rashee Rice is that good a player. I mean, he's a good player, but I don't think he's a top 10 wide receiver at all. And I think Kansas City's going to have to do a lot of rebuilding. I think the problem is they need to rebuild. Mahomes is like Tom Brady was, and Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers. They can make guys, Peyton Manning, they can make average wide receivers really good wide receivers. And he has no time to throw the ball. So if Kansas City would go out and sign a couple of offensive linemen and build their line back, then their receivers would probably all be really good again because they have a line.
Right.
But they're terrible on the line.
They are.
I don't know if it's a 1-year rebuild. I think their window to rebuild is going to be different. Now, the difference is you can got a lot of guys going to sign to come there to play for Mahomes. They've got one of the best defensive players in Chris Jones.
He's getting old, though.
He's aging, but he still played really good.
Mahomes is 30 now.
Yeah. I mean, that window's – look at windows that are going down. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, his
window's done, I think, because he's not running the ball, and I don't know if he's lost some mobility or what, but he's not a good thrower. He does not pass the ball well. I think Baltimore's window is about shut. Same as the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have been this close for the last 7 years. What's Dak now?
They've been this close forever. Romo and...
But, yeah, and they just can't close it, and they can't put it all together. And when they get a good offense, then their defense is not very good.
Yeah.
And when they get a good defense, their offense isn't any good. And I don't know how many more years Dak's got. But they've got a serious problem because when they're a one wide receiver team with CD Lamb, they're not very good. I don't think they can keep George Pickens, and I don't know if George Pickens wants to stay there or if they want him. He's a big cancer when things ain't going good.
Even when things aren't going terrible, he gave up in the Lions game.
Yeah, I don't think Dallas makes the playoffs. I think it's almost impossible. They'd have to have a lot of things go their way. Right. Same with the Chiefs. The Chiefs would have to win out, and there'd have to a bunch of weird shit happen for them to get in. So I think they're both going to be at home watching. And they'll both have pretty good draft picks. But you got to hit on them draft picks.
I sure was glad I took Dak in our fantasy football league.
He's a very good fantasy quarterback every single year.
As long as he doesn't get hurt.
Because they have to throw the ball.
Chunk that rock, baby.
That's
what I need.
We're going to switch to a little bit of politics real quick.
Uh-oh.
What do you all the stuff in Minnesota with the Somalians and that governor, Trump should not have called Tim Walz the R word.
Retard?
That's the word I wasn't going to use, yes.
Well, I didn't know if you meant rich or right or...
No, he ain't going to call him right. I'm sure he's rich. He's a politician. But anyways, shouldn't have called him that. I agree 100% with everybody that says he shouldn't have done it. For Tim Walz to come on there and talk about people driving up and down the street calling him that, screaming that at him, dude, if that hurts your feelings, you get some thicker fucking skin. I mean, you know who I think's are in Minnesota? Are the ignorant son bitches that voted for him. That's the people that are stupid. I can't understand. Everybody I know from Minnesota is an outdoorsman. They hunt, they fish. They're good people. And this whole Somalian community in Minneapolis is running that whole state. I mean, it's billions of dollars now that they said has been just fraudulently given to these people, and they fund terrorism. And then I sit there and I see somebody come on the stage, or like Kamala or somebody comes out and says the Somalians are the interweavings of the fabric of our country. What the fuck has Somalians ever done for us?
Right.
It's kind of like the Muslim deal. And you say Muslims are, and I've seen Obama say that before, the Muslims have done so much to build our country. What has a Muslim ever done for the United States of America? Name one thing.
I can't off the top of my head.
That's because there's nothing that they've done. They've taken. And the Somalians are the worst ones. I saw a stat come from a black guy. In the state of Minnesota, they figure the Somalian community has paid in $80 million in taxes. The whole group of Somalians that are there right now, their businesses, they keep saying, oh, they pay taxes, their business owners, $80 million. You know what the other black people in the state of Minnesota have put in?
How much?
$8 billion. Phew. There's a big difference there. Now, I don't know how exact the details are on what he said, but that's what he said.
Right.
He said, so don't come at us about the Somalians. He goes, because we're not, just because we're black, we're not Somalians. And we'll tell you, there's a big damn difference between them. They take and take and take and take is all they do. And the state of Minnesota's got a serious issue.
They're about to.
Yeah, but a guy like him, that's the biggest thing. They're trying to cover up all the fraud and shit they're done. But was people driving by my house honking and calling me the R word? People just driving down the road honking. The governor needs some thicker glass in his house.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it in my house. I'm assuming people call me the R word and drive by, but I can't hear it.
You think your house a little closer to the road than his is?
Probably so.
It's just stupid as shit. These people, the libs just buy into this crap. I'm telling you what, I'm tired of politics. Everything. There's nothing happened. You were so right. This is the thing where Andy's right and Jeff's wrong.
Ding, 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 ding.
Andy said they'll never ever arrest anybody, or anybody will ever get in trouble for all the shit with the Epstein stuff and all the other crooked shit. And you're right.
I know.
James Comey should go to prison.
He won't.
Nope. Letitia, whatever her name is, go to prison. Stacey Abrams, for all the fraud and stuff in Georgia and the voting stuff and everything, nothing will happen to her. The only person that ever gets arrested is Donald Trump.
I just think that both sides have figured out how to keep people pissed off without actually demanding any real change.
That's exactly what they do. It's like a Vince McMahon.
Sometimes
Sometimes I think he orchestrates our politics.
Yeah, they just get us pissed off at each other about meaningless stuff that doesn't move the needle one way or another. Just like I think a lot of the stuff with the transgender stuff, I think a lot of it is probably blown out of proportion just to kind of keep people divided on meaningless stuff like that rather than racking up national debt and getting involved in meaningless wars and not being able to buy groceries or afford a house or anything like that. Instead of worrying about stuff like that affects the regular day people, they get you fighting on what bathroom people should be going to. Because it's easier to sell people on those emotions, right? Rather than fixing a lot of deep-seated issues that are going on in America right now.
I don't know what the answer is on housing. I don't. I don't know. I don't think you can tell construction people. The answer is not for the government to build homes for people. We've got government housing projects everywhere in this freaking country. In every one of them, you have high crime. You have huge amounts of percentage of people on welfare that are living in them. I guess that's why they're living in government housing. And it don't work. I'm not saying that we don't need some government housing. We do. But we don't need the government in the housing business. And building 1,000 homes in Dallas, Texas, low-income housing is not the answer. Because you get the same problems you got in the projects now. We need to make it where people can buy a house that they're going to own themselves and make it affordable. But I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either.
Just like I don't know the answer to health care. Our health care in this country is ridiculous. And I'm getting older. And older people are the ones that use it. But my insurance pay $1,000 a month for something I can't even use.
Right.
You know, you got to, you can only go to that hospital or that doctor over there, and you can't do this. And if you use it, your deductible's $27,000 or whatever it is. People can't afford that either.
Yeah.
But I don't know the answer. Health care, housing are two things that I don't know the answer to. I think we need to give a raise to our military. But everything we need to do to fix stuff is the government's having to be involved, and that don't work. I mean, they give you all kinds of stuff. First-time homeowners get this and that and shit. You got to make housing affordable. How does someone working at and the answer is you need to go get an education or learn a trade, because I don't know any plumbers or electricians that are starving, and there's a huge demand for them. But when you're a family and you're making, between the husband and wife, you're making $70,000 a year, and you're trying to raise 2 kids, and time you pay rent and you have a car payment and insurance, which is fucking ridiculous. How can you afford to save money to buy a house?
You can't. I just saw this. This morning when I was scrolling meaningless on Instagram before I got out of bed. Working 40 hours per week can no longer pay for a 2-bedroom home in any United States state. According to the National Low Income Housing Report of 2025, a full-time worker must earn an hourly rate of $33.63.
That's going to make about $58,000 a year.
Afford a basic home. The typical United States worker would need to work 116 hours a week, 2.9 times full-time jobs to pay for a 2-bedroom home.
Basically, what he's saying is that guy is making $58,000 a year. And at $58,000 a year after taxes, he's going to get about $49,000 probably.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I misread that. You need to work 2.9 full-time jobs to pay for a 2-bedroom rental.
Because that's $49,000 a year. $48,000 will make it easy. That's $4,000 a month. That's $1,000 a week bring home. Your $1,000 a week bring home, if your house payment is probably rent, it's going to be $1,200 to $1,500 a month most places. So that takes your $4,000 down to $2,500 left. time you pay for your food, groceries, your extra cost right there's
that was
another
another
1,000.
thing I looked at. U.S. grocery costs just hit a record with a family of 4 spending around $1,000 a month.
Yeah, that guy that's bringing home $4,000 a month, bring home, which used to be in the mid 80s considered. If your husband made $50,000 a year, you were living in a good job.
That was another thing I looked at. The $100,000 a year now has the same purchasing power of $40,000 a year in the 1990s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's just no way. But my thing was, to buy a house, you've got to save up 10%.
Yeah.
So for them to save up 10% on a house that costs $150,000 a year, they got to save $15,000.
Yep.
Well, that's going to take them probably, they're going to be lucky to save $200 or $300 a month. So it's going to take them 20 years to save $15,000 probably, or it'd take them 5 years. Take 5 years to save that money. Well,
that's
then by the time
that's if your car doesn't blow up. That's if you don't break a leg. That's if you live.
You're getting lucky and you live frugal,
right?
But then by the time you save that 5 years up, then you're going to have to save another $5,000 for the down payment
for inflation.
It's there, and I don't know the answer. I really, really don't. But we're going back to times to the 20s and 30s when you had multiple families living in one home, and grandma and grandpa lived with mom and dad until they died. And it was just in the same, it was a family household.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going if things don't pick up. I mean, me and mom got a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
We got a lot more house than we need. But you've said it before, or Clay told me this one time. He said, y'all are the problem because people like you don't move out of your house where a young family can move in. Well, young families can't afford our house.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what the answer is going to be for the future, but
it's going to get dangerous because if you look at back in history, the only time revolutions start is when young men in their late teens and early 20s are isolated, without love, and they feel like the system is rigged. Because all those young men start to get angry, and then that's when you see revolutions fire up.
Well, there's no doubt that things are tough right now.
And right now, people are, I mean, they just did study. They do study after study. People are lonelier now than they've ever been in recorded human history. Part of that is their own doing.
I think a big part is that and the cell phone.
There was a guy, I can't remember his name, but I saw him. And so there's the anti-drinking movement going on right now. The Gen Zers or whatever this young generation is, they drink less than anybody since we started keeping the stats on it.
It's because they're all on pot.
But he argues that, so a lot of people cite health reasons. They don't think alcohol is healthy. But he says the negative results that you'll see from your liver at 25 years old is way less than the negative effects of not socializing and going to bars. So he thinks people need to drink more and go to bars. You won't be lonely anymore. Might have a fucked up liver in 50 years, but you had a good time doing it. So I don't know. There's just a lot going on in America that I'm worried about for my kids.
Oh,
housing's a big one. Groceries are a big one.
I mean, if you're not smart enough to become a Harvard attorney or a doctor, you better learn a trade.
Yeah.
Because all those computer software engineering jobs and shit, those things are gone. AI is going to replace all that shit.
Yeah.
So you better learn a trade. And it costs, I don't know what it's not looking good. If you're 18 years old, we had a young man that worked here for a little bit, and they just don't have the drive that kids had 20 years ago. Mm-mm. They don't, because everything has been given or provided. There's a safety net for everything. Kids don't know how to be poor no more. People don't know how to be poor no more. When I was growing up, people were poor. And before me, 2 generations, some bitches were dirt poor. You know, you didn't have, if you had trouble in 1955, if you had trouble, a single mom, say husband gets killed in a car accident, because there wasn't a lot of divorced people or a divorced person, your local church would help feed you a little bit. Mm. Somebody would help provide you a job. Someone would kind of look out after you. Then we got into the 60s, and everybody just got free government money all the time. and it's gotten worse and worse and worse. Well, we've had generation after generation, about 3 generations of that shit, and they expect somebody to provide for them all the time. Now the government's wanting to start taking this shit back, which they should. There's going to be some people that are going to have nothing now, but we can't keep giving to them. It's kind of like the Indian reservations. How often do we keep funding this shit for? Yeah. I mean, how long do you have to apologize?
I mean, it was a good idea. You don't want to see women and children.
No. I know that, but these women started having more kids because they were getting more money out of the deal.
I agree. I mean, I'm saying it was at the time. I think it was a good idea, and like, hey, we've got money. Let's make sure that people have their basic needs taken care of if they're on hard times. And then that started getting abused. So,
and it's just gotten downfalls, gotten worse and worse. But like I said, people don't know how to be poor. They don't know to just go without. You know, I think about this all the time. When I was a kid growing up, we didn't have a lot, but my parents didn't have to pay for cable TV because they didn't even have cable TV till I was in 7th or 8th grade. I mean, you couldn't even get it.
Yeah.
You know, and I was in junior high because the first kids that lived in the right side of town, because one side of town had it first, they got to see the hairy bushes all the time and all the naked shows late at night on Showtime that we didn't get to have, but we got to hear about it. But there wasn't no cable, so you didn't have the extra. Back then, cable was $20 or $30 a month, probably. They didn't have cable TV for a long time. Then you didn't have cell phones. You had one phone.
Yeah.
You know, everybody didn't have TVs in their room. You know, it's just the whole expenditures for people is so much worse today. For kids, you know, if you were poor, you could go to Kmart and get tennis shoes for $10 or $8 or something. Not everybody was wearing $200 and $300. It's funny. I'll see a kid that don't have shit and he's got a $1,200 phone and he's got a $300 pair of tennis shoes on.
Yeah.
Well, shit, he ain't too damn poor.
And there's times that, you know, I've gone to the grocery store a couple of times. I'm not too sure it's not cheaper eating out now.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that because it shocks me when me and Mom go to the grocery store. The other day, Mom told me to go to United and pick some stuff up. It'd be $179. I'm like, my cart's not even full.
Right.
When y'all were little, we could go to the grocery store, and that's when before we boycotted Walmart, we would go to Walmart in Abilene, and we could fill a cart up. Sometimes we would get 2 carts, and we would fill a cart up and 2 carts, and we'd write a check for $325 or something.
Right.
And we would have a bunch of, 2-3 weeks worth of groceries, basically, other than fresh fruit and stuff that you'd get, you know, that wouldn't last that long. Well, shit, nowadays, you go fill a cart up, you're going to spend $600, $700, $800. Yeah. And you ain't got much shit in there.
I went the other day. I can't remember what I needed. I needed eggs. I needed ham. The eggs, ham. There was something else, and it was $25. I got 4 things.
Yeah,
$25. Like, jeez.
We've got to get to a place in America.
And this was just for breakfast.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you eat; it's expensive. I mean, I guess you could have oatmeal and beans.
That's peasant food.
But that's kind of what you do, though. But poor people ate that way before. But it was cheaper to do it. But you would see beans and rice.
I don't know how much milk is.
I got to piss.
Go piss. All right, so I'm going to ask you this, and it's gonna sound bad.
No, I can't wait to hear this.
But do you think that the downfall of America started when women entered the workforce?
Yes.
Okay, so we agree.
Yes, because it changed the whole world.
I saw something, and it made a lot of sense. You know, 2 incomes, you double the workforce. Your way, it's just supply and demand. You double something, another something's going to get cut in half. So you got twice as many workers. You don't have to pay as much anymore. Children are getting raised by institutions and babysitters. So you're not instilling, let's say you are a family that both parents work. Your kids are not, you're not instilling your values into them. Somebody else is.
The world was a lot better off when June Cleaver was at home with Beaver and Wally.
Right.
I mean, just the bottom line to the whole deal. I did not grow up that way, but man, my friends that did, I was so jealous of them.
Right.
Because they had it was a more stable atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And it was, it just was a whole better deal.
So here's a bullet point from what I was talking about. 2 income, communities disappeared. Parents are working all day. There's no extra time for like local support. You know, right now, you look for any volunteers in anything. I don't care if it's Little League baseball or organizing a Christmas parade. Your volunteer base is not there because everybody's working. Stress is through the roof. You don't see each other. Divorce rates have skyrocketed. You just don't see each other. You don't make that connection. Birth rates have collapsed. Women are more apt to go pursue their dream career. And men lost purpose. Men were the breadwinners a long time ago, and now all of a sudden You know, if she makes more than you, you're probably going to hear about it. And
Do you
families were turned into roommates, which kind of goes to just breaking up that family dynamic.
do you think you were raised in a mom that didn't work household?
Yeah.
Even though your mom worked some because it was a family business, but you had snacks.
And I mean, my wife works. She makes her own schedule, but she works. And I feel like she does a good job of balancing being a mom and being
She's a
owning her
mom
own
first.
business. Right.
And your mother was a mom first.
Right.
But your mom took lunches, but we had the freedom to do that, and we were lucky.
Yes.
But I think I think children that come from that I think it's a lot better home type situation. And I'm not saying they're all perfect because they're not by any means, but I just think, yes, I think women joining the workforce the way they did has changed the dynamics of our country. I think I think if you looked in that, I still have always said 1955 was probably the best time to 65 to live in America. And there were some things about America that wasn't good. But I think you had a lot more PTO type organizations where the moms were involved and they were involved with the kids. And if you got in trouble, dad would come home. And just a lot more wholesome life that we have nowadays. I think there's too many kids are raised. Too many people think school is supposed to be parent for the kid.
Right.
You know, and I just we'll take the black community for instance. If you looked at the marriage statistics of black people in the 40s and 50s, it was probably better than the white people are. And then they got to the welfare state in the early 60s with LBJ, and that ruined the black communities. It tore them apart. You know, they started incentivizing single moms and having babies and stuff, and it really changed. And people listen, it's like, oh, damn, he's being racist. It's not racism. That's true. You look it up. The black family, there was more nuclear black families in the mid 50s than there were white people. And there was more of a family element. They went to church. They did more stuff. You didn't have the gang violence and stuff. The black neighborhoods are terrible right now, the predominantly black neighborhoods, because everybody that's got their shit together gets the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And they leave, and only people that are stuck there are the older people that can't get out, and the single moms with all the kids and shit. Everybody tries to get out of there.
It's cut in half.
What has?
The black marriage rate, it was topped out around 70% in the 50s, and now it's down to about 30%.
What's the percentage of white people at the same time? I'm gonna bet. I bet they're ahead of us back then too, and I might be way off on that.
About the same,
About the
70%.
same. But you could go even when I was younger. We had East Side in Wichita Falls, and on the east side of town, when I was a kid, when I was younger, they had their own schools. They had a barber shop. They had banks. They had everything there. You go there in 1985, and it was.
But whites have dropped too. It's 54% today.
Yeah. But when they had their own communities, they were thriving communities. They had business leaders. They had their own stuff that they did. And we did all the segregation shit. We did all the schooling, the busing of schools. And then we flooded welfare money down them to kind of control them, basically is what the Democratic Party did. And it ruined the whole society that they had. And it's terrible.
Well, like I said, the whites have dropped too.
You know, everything, the whole country, the whole world's that way now. But I'm saying they ruined, the government ruined the black communities with overfund or not overfunding. They kept them at bay with their fingers on them. They just gave them enough to survive. They fed them pennies all the time.
And then they introduced crack into their neighborhoods.
They ruined them, is what they did.
But back to my original argument.
Hold on just a minute. Hello.
You know, we just watched a show. It was called All Her Fault. It's on Peacock. It's a good show. Kid gets kidnapped. Anyway, there was a miscommunication
I wish I had this time to watch TV like you
on who was picking the kid up and all this other stuff. But it basically centered around the big overarching theme was moms at work, because it's kind of the mom that dropped the ball on this play date. But like watching them, like having to organize who was going to pick up their kid. Mom and dad both worked. Mom gets called in for a late meeting or whatever, and it's like, who the fuck are we going to get to pick up our kid?
Because everybody else works.
Because everybody else, it's just like, And like it was set in Chicago, and you don't have that community dynamic anymore. And if mom and dad both work and something comes up at work, well, now they're scrambling. So they can't pick up their kid, and they don't get in until nighttime, bedtime, basically. So nobody's raising their kid. And if your nanny calls in sick, I mean, your whole day's just ruined.
Kids are raising themselves. What do you think? How do you think it's affected the churches? Because, I'll bet you 30 years ago, 20 years ago, back before cell phones, before the smartphone is one of the things that really killed our country, I think, too. But before those days, your churches had a lot of volunteers. Oh, yeah. Ladies. That's got to hurt them because they don't have the women's groups no more like that because they're all working.
No, it's all, I mean, I know at our church, it's all
old people.
75 plus.
Yep.
But they were there for women's Bible study and that's, one of the reasons my wife's talked about it before, like reason I don't go, it's Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
She works, but
I can't do that.
But those women didn't have to work ever. Right. Their husbands did, and so they had that free time. And they had women's luncheons, and they did a lot of stuff like that. And I would bet, like, I grew up poor in Wichita, but the people in Wichita had money. They have a junior league there, the Women's Forum, and it was all the wealthy ladies. They had a gardening club, and they did all this stuff. I'll bet you their numbers are way, way down compared to what they were 50 years ago, too. Yeah. Because all them same women now, the ones that don't work, probably really don't give two shits about doing all that, a lot of them.
Right.
And then the second one, there's just not very many of them that don't work. And it's hard to make it. And for the people listening, they're like, well, we got to work. You have
100%. You have to now.
We understand that. We're on your side on that. But it damn sure changed our country when the women left being moms and had to become breadwinners also.
And it sounds sexist to say because, like, who's to say that, the woman has to stay at home? But if you just look at the course of human history, and the way that we've evolved for millions of years on this earth is men went out and hunted and gathered, and the women stayed at home taking care of shit.
Yep. And when another big downfall of our country is the frickin' white woman liberal. God almighty, she's really caused the whole world lots of problems.
And like we said, I mean, we went over the numbers. It takes everybody bringing money home now to afford anything.
Yeah, and I just don't know what the answer is on that.
A lot of times, the woman is probably just what she's bringing home alone is probably just covering their groceries.
Did I tell you about me ordering new checks the other day?
Yeah. Like $600?
No, $400 to order new checks for a checking account. Most people don't even have $400 in their checking account. I never did until recently, probably.
Yeah.
$400 to order checks.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I need to look up online. I'm sure I could have got them online probably for $100. But still, I could not. But when she told me that, she goes, "You are going to shit." Well, she didn't tell me I was going to shit a purple Twinkie. $407 to order new business checks. And the only time I write checks is during hunting season when it's payroll.
Right.
I don't ever write checks hardly ever anymore. I do it online. I couldn't.
That's probably why it's so expensive. Nobody's writing checks anymore.
No, nobody. But businesses still have to write checks.
Offset their cost.
But I could absolutely not believe it. I haven't written a check
since college. I don't think.
Well, I have have to write them still.
But
I don't write very many of them, though.
I remember last time I wrote a check, I had to remember how to write a check. I'm like, okay, this goes here. I gotta write out the number for whatever reason, and I gotta remember how to spell this. I gotta fit all these words on this little line. I had to okay, this goes here. This is this. No, everything's credit card now.
Well, I screwed up.
Oh yeah,
I could have ordered them from deluxe.com, and I could have got business checks for. Let's see, I get 1,000 of them at a time. It would have cost me about $240 if I ordered them through the bank because it was just easy. But I won't be doing that again. Yeah. And then my damn debit card, I got to use my debit card for 4 days in a row, and it don't work. Well, I thought the gas station here, the thing was messed up. Didn't think about it. And my American Express worked. I couldn't get my debit card to work. Well, went to use it the other day, and it didn't work. And I called the bank. I'm looking. I'm like, shit, I got plenty of money. What's going on? And my it went out in November, expiration date.
That's annoying.
It's just little things like that. Just wear me out. It's hunting season. Hunting's hard right now. Now I gave you a stock tip not long ago.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I told you to buy silver.
Oh, I didn't.
I thought y'all bought a bunch one time.
A couple of years ago.
Oh, well, it's up to $60 an ounce now.
Is that good?
It's real good. It was 5 years ago. It was $20.
I really want gold, but it's hard to spend that much money and get something the size of a Cheerio.
Yeah, okay, I got you then. When you graduated from high school, silver was $7 an ounce.
What was gold?
Gold was probably about 1,800 then, if I'm guessing. Let's see. Gold in February is $4,217 an ounce. And when you graduated high school, gold was $600 an ounce. So it's went up 700% since you graduated from high school.
Lucas was telling me the best way to hide wealth is to buy gold, because you can give that to your kids and nobody knows what you bought it for. So the inheritance tax or whatever the hell it is that you're going to slap your kids with to get anything isn't there when you just hand them gold bars or gold coins. Is that what you went this week?
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah. I've been on a roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I went 7 and 9 this week. Or wait, is there even? There's 15 games this week. I went 7 and 7 this week.
Well, Jed knocked it out of the park.
I went 5 and 9.
Jed knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. I had an 18-game lead on you going in, though. It's pretty terrible.
Not now, but it's just one thing to walk into this precious metal place and like spend $3,500 on silver, and you come out with like a shopping cart full of shit, and then $3,500 on gold, and it's like
a coin.
Cool.
It'd
be easier to keep in the safe though if you buy a bunch of gold, because it ain't gonna take up much room.
September 11th, 2001, gold was $290 an ounce.
Ooh.
So it's
wow.
Yep. That's crazy.
I need to buy more gold, less silver.
The problem is, no, they've went up 700%. Both of them have.
Yeah, but you got to store all that silver, Jeff.
I promise you, if you got a problem and you got too much silver, you don't have a room to store it in.
I don't.
It's a bad problem to have.
I don't, but I got room for gold.
I promise you, you could take a safe and fill it with silver, and you'd be awful damn happy if you had it right now.
But it'd be easier to store that same amount of money in gold. You don't have to go buy a whole nother safe. You can just keep it in the safe you got.
You got more safe than you got.
Now you got to spend money on buying another safe for all this silver when you could just use the safe you had and buy gold.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of problems to have in the world. Not having enough room to store all your silver is not one of them that you're having. I can promise you.
No, because I'm not in the precious metal market. I need to be though. I need to liquidate my Bitcoin and go to gold and silver. Even Bitcoin's going down.
Yeah, all my crypto's in the toilet.
I hadn't even looked.
Mine went way down. All right. Anyways, let's get off of here. We're gonna have Clay Reed back in the studio in a couple of weeks. He's gonna come out here and look. We did a giveaway on 2 different raffles we did with Clay for some scholarships, and we're gonna do those hunts in January. I got to call both of those guys today. Anyways, Clay's gonna come out in a couple of weeks and scout around where he's gonna do his coyote hunt, and we'll do a podcast with him. And then we're gonna have Gary Joe and them on. What's his Instagram handle?
Gringo Mandingo.
Gringo Mandingo. Gary Joe something on Instagram. I can't remember what it is. Anyways, he's gonna be on with us. We'll have him and Andrew on. It ought to be quite the conversation piece. And then we got another redneck guy that we're gonna have on, an old guy that I knew from Wichita that people reach out to me all the time. Supposed to be a really good storyteller. We're going to have him on again. And then we'll be starting to do our regular stuff. So hang with us for the next 6 weeks till waterfowl season ends in January, and we'll be back on the podcast, doing more podcasts. We'll still be doing them every week, but we'll start back on our regular scheduled program, because our football season is about done.
Pray for dumb birds.
Pray for some winter. That's what we need. We need some winter, and it doesn't look
I'll take killing dumb birds in 75-degree heat.
Well, yeah.
If you just give me dumb birds, you can keep your winter. So just give me dumb birds.
We just do not have any winter coming. I'm looking at it right now. 10-day forecast, 54 degrees. High 72 on Thursday, then 59 on Friday. That's the difference. Back when we used to have a cold front and north wind in December, it got cold. Now you get a cold and you lose 10 degrees is all. Just nuts the way it's been.
But, I mean, looking at this, it's 59 today.
Yep.
That's 3 degrees below average.
Yeah, I mean, That's right. But we don't have any dips that go way down.
Oh.
We just stay. I mean, we're going to be 70. We're going to be in the 50s. I mean, it's cold at night. Hell, it's 28 degrees this morning.
It was frosty.
Yeah. And then we've got good winds the next couple of days. So that'll help us a little bit at least. Hopefully they stay right on their wind forecast. All right. Thank y'all for listening to us. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Have a merry, merry, merry Christmas, my friends. Spoil your kids. Bye.
They're only little for a little while. Go check out all of our great sponsors. Christmas time is upon us, and waterfowl hunters want waterfowl gear. Go check out Boss Shot Shells, Pacific Calls. Use our promo code BHP25 for 25% off at checkout. Save some money shopping with Pacific Calls. Dive Bomb Industries, Ducks Unlimited, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Mossberg, Stanfield Outfitters, Cedar Run Decoys, and Mitch Hall Chevrolet.